Okay guys, we are back and we are now going to make some paper pulp. So right here, as you can see, I have a mixture of ripped pieces of paper. The first paper that I put in that I did on camera was the Blick newsprint that I bleached out a little bit, making it more of a tan. I also added off camera some toned tan acid-free sketch paper that I also bleached out. And the reason why I like to add this is because you can see the fibers of the paper inside of the paper itself. So what that means is if you ever look at Golden Age books or newsprint, even in Silver Age, Bronze Age as well, there is imperfections in the paper with different color paper fibers. So this paper has it, and it's a nice addition to my paper pulp mix to try to match as best as possible the actual color of the interior of the book. This is what I'm going to try to match up. So what are we going to do? What we're going to do is I have my blender right here, normal house blender, and then we have the blender top, nice and clean. I like to clean it really thorough between each leaf casting jobs. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the paper pulp into the blender. And as you can see, this is the paper pulp right here. It's nice and soft because I actually soaked it for about 3 days. So this is the paper pulp. This is the stuff that we want to fill in with the leaf casting. And as you can see, and hopefully the camera's picking it up, I have a bunch of different variations of tan that is present, and I hope once all this is blended, I hit the sweet spot with the color that I'm looking for. Now, I did a lot of pieces of paper to make a lot of pulp because we're gonna have to use a lot of pulp with this book to do the interior. Not as much as Captain Arrow for Mike Night Tiger's book that I did, because that book, each interior page had a split. This book, the Flash Comics, only has a split in just the first wrap. So we're not going to need a lot of pulp. So always I'm tempted to add some type of vodka or actually rum to make a margarita when I do that. Only kidding. So what we're going to do is we have this set up. What I want to do is I just want to add a little bit more water. So hang out, guys. I have to run to my water source. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm going to add some more water. There we go. That's enough. So what we're going to do now is we are going to blend the actual paper pulp, and I like to mix it up with the blend. I like to put it on fast, crushed ice, all different settings, because you really want to break up the pulp inside the blender. So what we'll do is we'll cover it so water doesn't spill out, and cover your ears. Okay, let's take a look and let's see what we got so far. So that's the paper pulp. It looks pretty good. I'm just gonna do it a little bit more to cut it up. Okay, I think we are good. So now what I want to do is I want to put down a wee pad, and I want to do a shout out to Collecting Chaos, because I think last upload or a few uploads ago, they were all blending. He did comment that he likes to use these wee pads after seeing me use them, and that's pretty cool because they are very useful and they really make it where you can use water without damaging the surface below. Now, I picked these up at Costco, which, based on my research, they are the least expensive there. I do have 4 dogs, 2 birds, and a cat, so I do have an animal house. And the dogs I have are schnauzers. I have a giant schnauzer. She weighs about 95 pounds. She's big, a good watchdog. And then I have a mini schnauzer, and the other 2 are mixes. Okay, so what we want to do now is I want to get some pulp that we blended into my squeeze bottle, because all I'm going to do now is I'm going to test the color. This is the testing process. It's not leaf casting process. So I have some, I suck some up in my squeeze bottle. When I am not using the paper pulp, I keep it in the refrigerator. The reason why I keep it in the refrigerator, because I don't want it to spoil. It doesn't last if it's in an open container, just by essence of it having water, paper pulp, and some nasty things start to grow in it when it's wet. So that's why when I'm working on a book, I'll keep the blender in a refrigerator I have in my basement. So we have that put aside. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to drop, or I'm going to squeeze the bottle and make a nice pattern of the paper pulp, and we're going to then let this dry, and then this will be a nice template to see what the color will be and whether it will match up nicely with the book. I just want to put a tiny bit more just to get a accurate reading of the color. And stick with the series, guys, because what I'm going to do is I am going to show how you can leaf cast without a leaf casting table. Actually similar to the way I'm doing. And when you leaf cast it, you want to do it like you're spray painting. You want to go over in rows and overlap the previous row that you put down. So there you go. Here is the color. We're going to let this dry, and then we're going to see if I have to tinker with it. So that's it for this upload, guys. Let me show you what I do. What I do is I'll take a piece of glass and I will put the test piece on the piece of glass, and I have my oil burner next to my workbench where I will put this on the oil burner. I'm not concerned with it drying flat because really all I want to do is just get the color. So thank you for stopping by. Stay tuned. If you haven't, go enter in my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. It's going to be an epic one. I don't know when I air this upload if I'm going to have it where the bronze age books are going to be uploaded, but maybe they are, maybe they're not. But Appreciate the support, everyone, and stay tuned.